Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to be analysing the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities may be available today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Okay, we're going to start off here on the daily as we always do. On the top is EU, on the bottom is DXY. So what's the daily showing? Well, yesterday we had a bearish closeout, however it did kind of form a low test doji just because, as I pointed out in my previous video, we do have this order block here with imbalance, and that has shown to be some kind of support in this area, at least for the time being. So on the daily we're working with this idea so far that this has provided support. We've rejected this area, mitigating some sell side liquidity. Now if we go over to DXY, same type of candle, finished as a high test. Different kind of POI, of course. We've taken buy side liquidity from above these highs and then we've closed below those highs, so it does look like a sweep of buy side liquidity, so that could form as resistance. We obviously have some order blocks in this area as well, but without that imbalance I think it's best to just focus on the fact that we swept some buy side liquidity by the looks of it. Now this could provide resistance. So in terms of today's candle, we still have our previous daily highs and lows intact for buy side and sell side liquidity on both DXY and EU. So will we continue bullish from this area to pull back in order to fill these imbalances here and this imbalance here, or will we continue bearish, right? So support provided, imbalances above as a draw on price. So let's move on to the 4 hour and see what that shows us. So as on the higher time frame, as I showed, we've got that daily order block here, but we also had that 4 hour order block which I showed in my previous day's video that pointed out as possible support. That support so far has been provided and rejected. We've had a small bullish push from that area and we have our huge bearish leg here, right, breaking below these lows. We have multiple imbalances here above price to be drawn toward within the discount and the premium. Right, so we do expect price somewhat to move towards the premium from this extreme discount here, where we've mitigated a 4 hour order block and daily order block, at least up until these points, maybe to the equilibrium to fill some of the imbalance. However, it doesn't have to, but we do have these draws on price. Inversely on DXY, we have the same draws on price, plenty of imbalances that may attract price below where we are towards the discount. The differences here with DXY, of course, is that we didn't make it to the extreme to where the 4 hour POI is like we did on EU. We've taken the buy side liquidity from above here, but yeah, we're a bit mismatched on those POIs there. But again, we have our draws to discount, draws towards premium, so we may expect some pullback action from this discount here, given that we've mitigated these high time frame POIs. So I think everything's quite clear and obvious. Let's go down to the hourly and see what that shows us as well. So I just zoomed out for a moment on the hourly just to show how fractal price is. We also had our 1 hour order block there, which I pointed out yesterday, and that also has been mitigated. That's where price pulled deeply into the 1 hour order block as well, and that's provided some support. As you can see, we was bullish throughout the afternoon, evening into today. So we're still in a discount, obviously, of this leg. Now the 1 hour has shown possible switch in that order flow in terms of we was making these lower lows, lower highs here, and then we finally made this high low relative to this low here. Let me zoom in just slightly. We made this slightly higher low, which then started to break above these internal highs here. So the M15 order flow clearly has switched this internal high, high low, high high internally. Now we have pulled up to this 1 hour POI, which is a 1 hour imbalance, and we filled that this morning. We've spiked above these highs. We'll see that clearly on the lower time frame, filling this 1 hour imbalance, which may provide some sort of resistance here. Now we are in a discount. We do have more POI draws above, so this may only be some sort of short-term resistance. However, it's a POI nonetheless that we may be able to expect some sort of resistance from, right? So we have to consider that within our biases. Inversely on DXY, we also have the gap still remaining from yesterday, which is an imbalance, which kind of lines up with this imbalance above here. So that may draw price down. So as I was saying, on the 4 hour and on the 1 hour, of course, we're in a discount. We've mitigated these higher time frame POIs. That I would expect some bullish price action from. We have had some, but we may get more, right? Some more pullback action towards this area and these areas above here, which means weakness on DXY. Again, though, DXY has the draws of the higher time frame POI above still, but it also has plenty of imbalances below that it may be attracted to. Like I said here, this is a possible draw in this gap. So although we have some resistance here and it may provide some signals for shorting trades, at least temporarily, we also have this possible draw here which may just attract price and we just go up. So that analysis can provide a bit more confusion. I would prefer, you know, the longs down in this discount. I would prefer for price to create those opportunities, but we can't ignore that there are high time frame POIs here. We look to have swept some buy side liquidity, so we may be able to short as well. Just we have our negatives of price draws, right? Because DXY needs to go bullish for us to short EU. So we have our negatives here of the draw immediately below, which is a gap in price. So my bias, I think we can see both ways. I don't like going long into POIs and possible resistances here. But of course, if the order flow shows that way, then I may trade that way. However, I also see opportunities to go short here, which is of course with the trend, but we're in a discount and we have some negatives here. So I think I see both ways today, but I'll have my preferences. So in saying that, let's go down to the M15, see what opportunities may be on the table for us. Now onto the M15, as I mentioned on a 1 hour, you'll see here that we created this low. We had this high, lower low, lower high, then high low, which made this a weak high, as I've been mentioning recently, and we've gone and taken that high and made a new higher high, right? So the structure has shifted on the M15 to having this break of structure into a new bullish leg. Ignore this was just a trade idea from yesterday that I didn't take because we had these equal lows here and POIs below, so glad I didn't take that. Now into today's price action, we had our Asia range here, and then into the London Open in Frankfurt we swept that Asia buy side liquidity and also mitigated that 1 hour imbalance. From there we had bearish momentum and broke down, giving us a break of structure which is super clear on the 5 minute. We can go to that in a moment. We also swept the sell side liquidity here on DXY and had the same move. So I had my eyes on the shorts. We had our imbalance POI, buy side internal liquidity swept, break of structure, and then we were pulling back. However, it's a bit unfortunate. We had already completed the Asia cycle bias where we sweep one side and go to the other. You can see that sell side liquidity below Asia gave us that bullish pullback quite quickly. We have some negatives, right? So the reason why this short is a bit risky is because we did mitigate these high time frame POIs yesterday. We have now shifted that M15 structure and we have loads more imbalances above. Of course, we have our 1 hour imbalance as a resistance, but we have more above and we're in a discount. Same with DXY, we're in a premium. We have that draw on price below immediately, that gap. So if we get drawn into this, of course, that means we get drawn above price into this as well, towards that premium. It matches a lot of criteria to short, in my opinion, maybe worth the short, but there are some immediate negative confluences that we have to be aware of when dealing with this trade, especially being in the discount. So let's go down to the M5 and I'll show you what this opportunity looks like. So I've already filled in most of the criteria here, so let's discuss. Buy side liquidity sweep, break of structure below this low here, and pretty much a corrective pullback here at the moment, right, to our 5 minute order block with imbalance here, where we set our order, stop loss just below the high, targeting the lows. Right, so from my previous videos, if you're new, that's always what I'd be looking for. We've swept internal buy side liquidity, we've got a high time frame POI here, we've got a lower time frame order block with imbalance, break of structure, and we've pulled back. Now I've already discussed the negative confluences, but we can talk about those again. We have swept some sell side liquidity here before the pullback, which isn't unusual, and then we have our possible draw on price here, and we're in the opposite ends. We're also in a discount already on the higher time frame and a premium on DXY. So the higher time frame mitigations that we did yesterday over here may influence price to continue bullish and bearish on DXY. So those are the dangers there. I do like the opportunity, but those dangers are slightly putting me off a little bit. So I'll have to look into that once this video is finished. Now I do like the corrective price action. If we continue this, maybe a small little pullback before coming up into here, it gives a bit more confidence that the sell side liquidity from here and the price draw below here possibly isn't that strong. Otherwise we may have got more momentum to break these highs. Now if I put that to the side for a moment, in terms of longs, of course I'd want this structure to go. We have broken down on the M5 clearly and almost as clear on the M15. So for longs, I'd probably want us to maybe sweep some internal lows. Not going to spend much time on the longs because I don't think they're as clear at the moment. Let's say we see some price action like this, we take out this low again and then break above a high or this high, okay, and then we can do the same similar thing to continue. Or better yet, some price action that involves us taking out this high completely, and then we can go on our way before too much buy side liquidity is taken. As you can tell, I am favoring the shorts just because of all the confluence here. I don't like the longs right into higher time frame POIs, but the draws are there, so I would need this price action to shift bullish for me to continue with any longs. So I hope you understand that. So I think that's everything. I think the clearest opportunity is the short, just because of how the lower time frames are shaping up with these confluences. It may just be a temporary short, not to take out the lows or anything like that. I do believe we do need a bigger pullback to more of a premium up here. With this new leg here, we may just pull back to more of a discount of it to continue higher. So I hope that was clear. I hope you gained value from that. Any questions, do let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.